David Moyes masterminded his first-ever victory away to Arsenal as a manager as his unwavering West Ham United side ran out 2-0 winners against their London rivals at the Emirates Stadium. The Scotsman had endured 22 triumph-less trips to the Gunners' turf prior to Thursday's Premier League affair, but a controversial Tomas Soucek opener and Dinos Mavropanos header against his old club saw the Iron subject Mikel Arteta's side to their first top-flight home loss of the new term. Arsenal, who only avoided an even heavier defeat thanks to a David Raya penalty save from Said Benrahma, were not without their opportunities in North London, but a combination of alarming wastefulness, several sloppy passes, and exemplary West Ham defending denied the Gunners the chance to rise back to the top of the Premier League table. Let's go around the punditry world to hear what the experts are saying about Arsenal's performance at the Emirates.
Mikel, how do you sum it up? Did West Ham deserve it?
Well, they won the game, and congratulate them. With what happened on the pitch, obviously, I think we deserve much more than what we got. We tried, but the difference was made in the boxes. They had 2 shots, scored 2 goals. We had 30 shots, I think. And not scored a single goal, and we had big chances, and that's the difference in the Premier League. You want to go and win games, you have to make the difference in the boxes, and today we haven't done. But I have nothing for the players, because I have to praise them. They tried up to the end. They went for it right till the end, and we could not get what I think we deserve.
Yeah, so much effort. Was it sometimes a bit too intricate?
I don't know if I have to. To question them is just to say, okay, they tried too hard, but they really wanted it. They kept going at it, and they did their best, and their attitude was incredibly good, and we didn't put the ball in the net. That was missing.
Gabriel Jesus never stops, but his header at 2-0 almost sums it up, doesn't it?
Yes, we have some big ones, Bukayos, and the situation with the post. We have a lot of situations, a lot of block shots, a lot of situations that we can play the ball there, the cross is there are 2-3 players free in the box, we don't pick them up. And that's the difference in this league to win the games.
The first goal, very similar to the goal you conceded at Newcastle. Was it over? Was the ball in or out?
I don't know, I haven't seen it, but everybody's saying, okay, is the technology good enough to understand what it is? And that's probably the question, but I haven't seen it.
Yes, they stick with the on-field decision because there's no categoric ruling. There is this chip in the ball that potentially offers the overhead view of that, and that's something you'd advocate.
Well, we all want the best technology possible, so the decisions are clear. And today, if it's inconclusive with the technology that we have nowadays, probably is something that we can improve.
It's 10 goals between your front three, Saka, Martinelli and Jesus. Does tonight, for all the effort, underline the need for some reinforcements maybe in January there?
What we need is to finish better the actions, you know, and they've done it. They did it last year, and we are where we are. We're at the top of the league with those numbers as well, so that means that the team does a lot of good things.
Yes, we're at the halfway stage. Second, how do you evaluate the first half?
That we want to be better, that we want to be at the top, and today we are very, very disappointed because the way the boys tried and the effort that they put in, the amount of situations, dominance you have in the game. This only happens in football. Any other sport, today we come here and we have 3 points for sure.
Declan Rice not at his best tonight, not his night, but do you feel better prepared overall with him and with this squad to go the distance?
I feel we are in a really good position today. A very disappointing night, obviously losing at home the way we've done it. We have to pick ourselves up. We have a big game against Fulham.
Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you.
Clearly very disappointed was Mikel Arteta, understandably, and the stats really do tell you the story of this match. You look at the expected goals for Arsenal there, if you look lower down on that table, 2.68, they ended with 0. But what really stands out is the touches in the opposition box. So Arsenal registered 77 to West Ham's 13, and actually the 77 touches in West Ham's box without scoring is the most on record in a Premier League game, Wrighty. They missed out on some big chances tonight. Yeah,
they did. And like Owen rightly said at the start, you know, a striker is probably on Arsenal's is the main shopping list. And I think when you watch a game like that, to have that many touches in the opposition box and still not score, says to me that there's a problem in that area. And I think you look at Jesus, I think he's got 3 Premier League goals this season. I think I mentioned that 10 goals between the front four. And last season, we had those guys in plus 10, you know, plus 10 goals each. You know, it was brilliant. This is a great chance. I think he's mistimed it. You know, it's a fantastic chance from where it is. And then this one is, again, you know, when you look at the dominance of the game, these chances are good enough chances to get you take these chances. This one here, you take that chance, West Ham probably start to crumble simply because by now they're just waiting to hopefully not concede that goal so they get the onslaught. The onslaught was coming and we saw it with the amount of touches we had in the box, but the clinical finishing was not there. And I said it at the start, you know what I mean, we're not quite far front, and I think that showed today.
And those numbers also tell the story. Nketiah with 5, Saka with 5. They need to have their strikers scoring more, surely.
Every guy on that list is a beautiful football player. The difference between, you know, the goal scorers sometimes aren't really great football players. You couldn't say Haaland's technically a brilliant football player, but he's a brilliant finisher. Mm-hmm. And I think Arsenal, they got all these brilliant football players. All they need is somebody to just put the ball in the back of the net, be in between the lines. That last chance from Jesus, and I love him, he has to score. He just has to score. I just think he just has to head it back the other way, and I think it's a pretty easy finish for a guy like Haaland or Lewandowski. And I just think when Arteta, he can look at a game and think 74% possession, 30 shots. They did more than enough to get something from the game. Mm-hmm. But looking at that, I think you need a different option now. Just a bigger guy that when the team sits in, you can cross it and he can go and head it. Their biggest chances came from headers. You can't have everybody that's 5'9", 5'10". You know, sometimes you need a focal point. And they miss Havertz today. I know he was out, but he would have been in there, right? He in the box, wouldn't he? Getting on the end of some of those headers.
He would have. And the thing is, what people don't understand is, especially at home at this stage for Arsenal, or try to go for it, is that you have to get something. And when you miss the chances you miss, the thing, what happens when you do take those chances, you're then able to relax, and then West Ham have to maybe come out themselves. But West Ham got more and more impetus to defend as well as they did, because they did defend well. And then it's up to Arsenal to take those chances so you can relax and you can slowly open them up, slowly, intricate passes. But when you don't take the chances, you get more and more, you feel more and more pressure, you feel more and more anxious. They start to defend even more resolutely. And then, you know, the game runs away and they nearly got a penalty at the end as well. They got the penalty at the end and missed it, unfortunately for them. But that is why it's so important to have this half-chance striker, half-chance taker of striker. That's what Arsenal need.
So do you think that they will do some shopping in January? Do you think they have to?
I don't know if you can get that. The calibre of player that Arsenal need right now is somebody that's hits the ground running, top-end striker. You know, like of the Osmans of this world, that level of striker, because if Arsenal want to do it now, they're going to need that level of goal scoring.
And someone that will slot in straight away
and do it. Yeah, that's what they probably need now, because I don't think any Arsenal fan will look at today's game and not see that we need a killer. We need a killer in front of goal.
We talked a lot pre-match about Declan Rice, and it wasn't a night that he'll want to remember.
Well, no, it's the worst possible probably night for him. I actually thought he played all right.
Yeah, he did.
You know, he pushed. He's so unlucky here. He slips, and because he slips, he's just a little bit late, and he's just trying to get there. And that's Declan. He's always trying his best. Fouls Emerson, and in the end, he's actually really fortunate that Ben Rama misses the penalty, which would have made it 3-0, which would have made it even worse. But I actually thought Declan played really well. He's barely put a foot wrong in an Arsenal shirt. And if anything, they need more people like Declan with that mentality that keep pushing. I feel like they got a lot of brilliant football players, but they probably just need another one or two with that. You know, I think centre forward, left back. I think they can do it with a couple in that Declan mould. Yeah.
I think what Declan's performance is, like, people will probably pick out a couple of mistakes in that game, but in the main, you know what I mean? Again, he's put in another performance where, you know, even in that game, he's made some really good interceptions and some tackles. We gave away the penalty, maybe gave away a couple of balls, but his levels and what he's done up to this point is the reason why Arsenal are where they are. Mm-hmm. Okay. You know, so, you know, he's somebody that, it was just one of those days for him with his old team coming there and beating him.
Okay, now let's focus on his former team and his former manager. Here he is, David Moyes.
Tactically, what was key tonight?
How we nullify Arsenal. We've got to play 50, 60 games this season, and we won't play them all the same. Tonight we played away to try and get a result. We got it. I've done it quite a lot in my career. I've had to find ways of getting results at different times, and we got one tonight. And look, we broke really well. We counter-attacked. We got a couple of chances. Look, we should have gotten it. We should have won with the penalty kick at the end by 3. So, and I can't really remember. Arsenal had good chances, but not anything which was absolutely clear-cut. I thought it was a master performance by the defenders tonight, and how well they defended the box and made sure they blocked things, and the keeper saved what they had to do. So, really good job.
And you're finishing in 2023 on a high. You are 6th in the table, winning a trophy. It's been an amazing year for West Ham. What's key for 2024? What do you want to achieve with this team?
I just would like to reiterate what you said. I think 2023 for West Ham Football Club has been sensational. It really has been. The things that have happened this year really has, and to finish off in this manner today. I hope we can build on it. I think there's loads of room for growth. I think there's loads of room for us to keep improving, both on the field and off the field as a football club. And hopefully we can make that happen, because at the moment, you know, we're in a really good, strong position with Europe and with the Premier League as well. So let's hope we can keep it going.
The fans will certainly hope so. What a brilliant night for West Ham. They were 18th at this stage last season. They are now 6th in the table on 33 points. Right, it's time for a break, after which was a milestone victory, of course, for the manager, David Moyes, as he's never won at the Emirates before, but also a huge win for West Ham. And Gerard Bowen was asked just then, and he said it after the Manchester United victory as well, that he believes that they can finish in the top 6. They are there now. Do you think they can stay there, given the form that we've seen from them?
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, obviously, with Tottenham and Brighton and Aston Villa and all those teams, but they're right there. You know, they got a really, really, really good side. Attacking-wise, they're great. Goalkeeper solid. The midfield balance is really good. I think back in the day, you always saw West Ham, you thought they had weaknesses. You know, they had a few flaws. I don't think they have that as much anymore. I think they've got really good attacking players now. Maybe they can add a centre forward into there, but I think with Ward-Prowse and Alvarez and Kudus and Paquetá, they have so many good players, good ball players, so that they can go to Arsenal and not only just hang in there, but they actually can hit on the break. So they've been exceptional, and I think they're only going to get better.
They're very organised. You can see that they were forcing Arsenal. They didn't want Arsenal to come through them, because with the intricate play, as much possession as Arsenal had, and they were forcing them to cross it from wide. And even they did do that. Arsenal did have a couple of chances where they should have taken the chances. This is why it's a bit disappointing, simply because you can't lose home games. If you're going for what Arsenal are going for, you cannot lose those games. You have to at least draw those games. You can't lose that game.
Yeah, and right, you know, we'll look back at those chances very shortly, but let's have a look at both of the goals. We'll start with Thomas Souček's goal. This was his 5th of the season, but there was a lot of controversy about whether the ball was in or out here, Owen.
Oh, Arsenal fans are going to be going crazy, because, I mean, from the angle that I saw it, I mean, you can't see it from there. It's a great finish from Souček in the end. I think that looks out. Because when you see it there, I think, to me, that looks out. You see on the freeze, the ball's almost behind the line. See, when we rock it forward, that kind of goes almost on the line. Yeah. So then, you know, then I think it's different. But I think from the other side, it almost looks out. So, but because they couldn't get a definitive angle, they said that they couldn't overturn it. So, tough. I mean, the margins are so fine at this level.
Fine,
but to me, Wrighty, that looks just out.
And the key word is
definitive.
You know, it wasn't.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of VAR. If the referee just done it and said, you know what, I can't find it, and he's going to give it, I'll take that. You know what I mean? But like, I just don't want to get into that. I'm not doing the big VAR, and I hate VAR and this and that. It's out. They find a definitive camera angle. I'm not fussed anymore, to be honest. If the referee believes he's going to give it, just give it now. Because you're literally shouting into the wind, man. Yeah. You know, trying to get these decisions, and everybody's having to taste some of the badness, so we maybe have to taste some today.
Okay, so that was 1-0.
They were under pressure a bit in the first 10 or 15 minutes, but they stood together. They were tight, they were compact, they were difficult to play against, hard to beat. And once they got that first goal, you just thought, yeah, try and break them down, because when you've got 8 or 9 men behind the ball who are prepared to sit on the 18-yard box or the penalty spot and work their socks off and stick together, I don't care who you're playing, when you're this well organised, it's really, really tough to play against. And that's exactly what they were. They got this goal, and as we said at the time, that it's almost impossible to prove that the ball was completely out of play. We haven't seen a conclusive enough angle to suggest that, so the goal was given on play, and so it should stand as it did. But then after that, you're looking for your players to dig deep, because you know you're going to be put under pressure at times. And they were. but they came up with all around, absolutely magnificent to a man right the way through.
Yeah, and in spite of the goal, was it over the line or not, there was mixed-up confusion in the Arsenal defence.
Yes. Like we talked about before, we can see that's very difficult to see because the leg of Bowen is clearly in front of the ball for us with that vision. It's very difficult to see if the ball is out or not. That's the second time I said it before with Arsenal. Obviously, at Newcastle, the same thing happened. But to go back on the cross, yes, we talked about it before. Players play the space instead of playing the player. Bowen can score, but obviously Gabriel went behind and tried to see if he could help his fullback, which was Zinchenko, and the danger was there. Obviously, after it's a bit of a miss clearance that went back to Bowen, but nevertheless, you have to cover your first post.
Thierry, you brought it up, so let's dig it out of the archives because there was a lot more to just the ball potentially being out of play in this goal, Alan. The goal that Thierry's referring to, the away goal, the win for Newcastle. Arsenal were away, obviously, at St James's Park, but this must feel a bit like lightning struck twice for us.
Deja vu, isn't it? Really, with the ball. Potentially going out, then the foul. That looks out then when you're looking at it from that angle, but from other angles it doesn't. So, and the decision again on field was to give the goal, very much like it was tonight. So there was no conclusive evidence to say that he should change their mind, and it was the same tonight.
Doesn't matter in the end.